What's up everybody? This is my second video on this channel, and before I start I want to give a big shout out to all of y'all who've decided to subscribe to me off the one video I made on that blue brick, the blue 29. I really appreciate y'all for checking it out, giving me feedback. I did it for my fellow lefties, so if you really enjoyed it as a lefty, just comment on here again and say, you know, if it made a difference or not. My content now, I want to keep it the same, but I kind of, again, always want to add the left-hander's point of view. Might not be the best golfer, but I feel like I can express what I'm trying to say a lot better rather than giving you the full action. So if you can swing better than me, golf better than me, overall do a lot better than I can, at least maybe I could kind of explain a little bit better than what you would normally think yourself. So if I can help you out just with explanations and opinions rather than the full action of it all, you know, that's fine with me, totally. So again, I want to shout y'all out for helping me out, making me feel like the one video I made was like a good start, you know? Like, I didn't really expect it to blow up how it did. I'm not gonna say it's going crazy, but I did not expect 1.3 thousand views on my video, 19 subscribers, with one video. Like, that's awesome, and I really appreciate y'all for giving me feedback and giving me a sub, you know. And like I said, I'm wanting to do more and more and more. So this video today is going to be about, does grip size matter? So we're gonna start on that today, and we're gonna hit the range. I'm going to give you my opinion on if I think it's worth sizing up, sizing down, staying at your normal grip size that you're already at right now. Maybe you're curious about if you want to size up in a grip just to see like if it fits your hand better. So yeah, we're gonna start on that. I'm gonna give you a little bit of background info on my grips and what I think is good and bad about the grips, etc, etc. So basically, before we start, I'm gonna measure my hand for y'all to kind of give y'all an idea of the size of my hand, why I use the size of grip that I use, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so roughly my hand from the wrist area up to the middle finger is going to be about like 7.5 inches, depending on, I guess, where I'm measuring at. I went to the PGA store, and if you're curious about your hand size and don't feel like just messing with this tape measure, you can go to the PGA Superstore, and they have a little measurement thing next to where all the grips are. So if you want like an accurate measurement, go to PGA Superstore. They have a little hand measuring thing there. They've kind of measured out my hand, so I think honestly what he had told me is I'm at about 8 inches. I'm pretty much at 8 inches right here, because you kind of have to go a little bit lower from where your wrist starts. But again, I'll tell you exactly what size your hand is. So mine's about 8 inches. When I asked him roughly what size does he think should be using for a grip, he goes, you're right at the end of standard to the beginning of mid-size. He goes, so you could go from a standard to a mid-size, and you should be good. So basically right now I'm gonna also show you what I started out with club-wise. So I started out with this Hippo brand club that my buddy got me, and I know John Daly used this brand back in the day, so I was like, Hippo brand, like, cool. I even had a Hippo driver, John Daly signature, that I really enjoyed, but I lost it. I don't know where it went. The grips themselves were a standard size, They're pretty worn down, so when I started playing with them during the summer, they were super slick. Like, it was just super hard to control with my hands being so sweaty. I dry them off, I dry the grip off, but they were just worn down, like they were just done. So I started with standards here. I played with them for a while, having a real hard time playing with these because they were so slick, but in my head I was like, I'm having to grip these so much harder. I don't really like that. Maybe I need to size up and grip. So that was kind of my take on it. And now that I'm looking at it, maybe it really wasn't me needing to size up. It was just me needing to go and get different grips, like fresh grips, you know, where I wouldn't have to like hold on to the club so hard, you know. So they're the Tacoma 101s. The grip are huge. They're jumbos. I went ahead and got jumbos because at the time I wanted something that just fit my hands snug, I guess. Like I felt like I didn't want to grip the club obviously as hard as I was with the original hippos that my buddy had got me. So I went with the jumbos. I skipped the mid-size because I just felt like bigger was better. They technically, jumbos should always, I think technically your hand should already be at about 9 inches, and mine has a full inch missing from where they recommend you even go to a jumbo. So I was kind of golfing with smaller hands but with bigger grips. I felt like that was the move, and I used them for a long time. I really did enjoy not having to grip as hard or grip as much. I kind of just put my hands there and everything's filled up in my hands already. I didn't have to over grip nothing, tighten up my grip whenever my hands are sweaty. Like everything here was just working out for me. And these are the CPXs, which I'm a big fan of these grips because they just don't slip out of your hand very easily. They get tackier the more your hands get sweaty. The more that the grips sweat a little bit, they get sticky. And for me, it's like perfect. I don't have to really worry about my hands slipping out. These are the only grips I've ever bought. And I'm pretty much gonna probably stick with them. Basically as well, another thing, when Bryson DeChambeau did that Break 50 challenge with John Daly, he also had a good point.
All about trying to teach amateurs how to play golf. Get fitted with your grip, not your clubs. The smaller the grip is, if you put your hands on a grip and you take it back and there's a gap between your left arm and your right hand, you're screwed. That means you're not controlling the golf club. So go get fitted for grips. Nobody does that.
Nobody does.
Nobody does it. I think the bigger the grip is, the better you're gonna play.
Yep.
Ever since I saw him make that point on that video, I kind of was like, all right, cool. Like maybe I wasn't so crazy thinking like the bigger the grip, the better. After playing with the jumbos for a while, I just couldn't get my swing down, I think, which really still affected my grip because I have a super strong grip that I've also been working on. So recently, I decided to size down back to just some standards, just to try them out again because I was working more on my swing lately with that blue brick, kind of trying to swing under the line, all that good stuff. I changed my grip style. I used to just 10 finger it, believe it or not, just because it was the easiest to like relate to baseball for me. But I recently changed into interlock now, which I really actually enjoy a lot more. So I went to interlock, I sized back down to standards, and I think they really do work better for my hands. And don't get me wrong, I kind of miss the jumbos, and lately I've been debating on maybe going back to jumbos, but because it's back and forth and you're spending like $100+ on grip installments and all that at PGA, where I go all the time, it's just kind of like I don't want to keep wasting money for no reason, right? So I'm sticking to standards for now. Today's video as well, what I want to do is take maybe two long irons. I'm going to take the 4-iron out that I never changed that jumbo grip size with. I have some wedges that I just bought from Facebook, some little Cleveland wedges that have some Lankin grips that are also oversized, so I might take the wedges too, and I'll take my putter because I have a Jumbo Max putter grip that I use on my arm lock. The arm lock putter I really enjoy. I don't think I'll ever switch down from the Jumbo Max grip on that, and I do like arm lock putters a lot more than my standard putter that I had, so I'm sticking to the Jumbo Max and that arm lock regardless. But today's video, again, I want to make a whole opinion video on it, if I need to go back up or just stay where I'm at with the standards. So again, the swing has a little bit to do with how I think my hands are gonna work with the grip, but I feel like it's also like a feel thing. Like if you're really feeling confident with the grip that you have, then I think that's really what matters as well, regardless if it's like kind of defying the odds, if your hands are too small for the grip that's bigger than your hand size, or maybe a bigger hand and a smaller grip. I don't know. I don't have the smallest hands, but I don't have the biggest hands, so me using those jumbos might have been a little bit odd strategy, but it worked for me. It felt like, at least. It's just, I'll give you another point. Well, with these jumbos, my hands, whenever I'd come up like this, my hand already was like coming off from the bottom. Like, it was like I wasn't giving it enough pressure on these bottom fingers and keeping my hands on it. Like, I would come up and my fingers would almost let go a little bit at the top, so then my wrists would get real, like, they would bow a lot, you know, or whatever they call that, where your wrists spin back. Just open up a lot, you know, and I'd lose control. You know, my hands would be all over the place. The club would be moving too much instead of just press down on it and then boom. And I think that does have something to do with my hands not being big enough for a jumbo size, you know. But you know, I could work with it. It's just I felt like for a while I'd have to work harder to do the same swing that if I were to have used a standard grip. My hands are over the whole grip itself already, so I didn't have to like finesse it as much. And again, today I'm just going to go to the range, bring a couple of clubs, and we're just gonna compare from my old jumbos to my new standards and see honestly how I feel about both of them, and also to see if maybe I should go back to jumbos or if I should stick with the standard size. Alright, so here in Pasadena, I was gonna go to East End, but which is the last, from the last video, the course that I went to do the review, but I figure here would be a little bit it's closer to my house, so that's pretty much where I started playing golf, like in a more serious manner anyway, so it'll kind of be a little bit different of a view too, so let's check it out. Alright, so basically we're gonna start with the putters today. This is what I used to use. This is what I use now. Jumbo max grip. Way bigger than what the standard grip that was this little Wilson grip that I got from Academy. We'll start with what I used to use, just to kind of see like the pros and cons of going back to this with the smaller grip with putting. See if it really makes a difference, and then we'll use what I'm used to using. Okay, so we're gonna start with the short putter, what I've been using, or what I was using when I first started. Just off of the first feel, the putter's obviously way shorter from what I'm used to. That was nice, not a bad roll at all. So I feel like the way that I grip the putter now, it's a little bit cramped. I don't have a lot of room, so I feel like in a way I'm still over gripping. Oh yeah, that was horrible roll. You know, and I think my putting game has got a lot better whenever I went up to the arm lock, and then I put a huge grip on there, Jumbo Max grip, the one that Bryson uses. Nice. And I know that earlier I had mentioned how I don't really want anything related to what his grip size was. Well, that's more on the club. Putting wise, I think it makes a lot more sense to have a way bigger grip on a putter than it does an actual club, unless you just have huge hands. And again, I don't have huge hands. Yeah, way off. Oof. I just don't really have control over this putter, and that was always my problem. I really like putting. I think it's a good thing to practice in on. Check the flag. Yeah, that would have went in the hole, I think. So now, currently, way taller. Don't have to hunch over so much. Oh my God. Way off. But maybe after using that other putter, it's a little different now. Oh, beautiful. Good roll. That was a nice one. But yeah, I feel more confident with this one. The grip is way more fitting in my hand. I don't have to hold the grip as much. It's just sitting in my hand already. Yeah, I think that would have made it in, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm not really fighting this putter. It's kind of working with me. The Wilson Academy one that I just used, I kind of had to fight with it to hit it right in the middle. And with this one, I'm hitting it in the middle. I feel like at least with the roll, it seems like I am. And I'm not really having to fight with it. I'm kind of just, it's going with my swing already. And obviously it's an arm lock, so my arms are guiding. My arms are guiding it, and it's not fighting back. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm getting out of this Wilson. I'm having to work a lot harder with it. This Odyssey arm lock is working with me. We'll keep this part short. What do I think about these two? Do I think a shorter putter works better with a smaller grip? Personally, no. I don't think a smaller, normal size grip putter works better for me personally. I don't regret moving up to this Jumbo Max size grip with an arm lock style putter, way bigger putter. I think I putt a lot better and am more comfortable with this Jumbo Max arm lock Odyssey compared to what I started with the small Wilson putter. I just prefer bigger putters. So that's about it for the putting part. So I guess we can move on to grip size when it comes to long irons, drivers, woods, and wedges. Okay, so we're gonna start out with what I normally use, which is just a standard size CPX grip on the 52 degree. And we're gonna see how I hit with it. Kind of, I'll give you some feedback on what I think is the pros and cons of the standard, and then we'll move over to a 56 degree with the oversized grip. Right here, and wasn't the worst hit. Kind of went really high. So, like again, we're warming up. So, the standards is that this part right here, like I was saying, it doesn't lift off my palm. It stays, you know, stuck to my palm pretty much, which could do with me back in the day not really knowing the grip strength and overthinking too much, over the top. You know, it kind of has a lot to do with your club coming out of your palm where it should just be, or out of your fingers basically, to where it opens up. So that's one thing I've noticed with the standard grips, that they don't really the club doesn't really come out of my palm as much anymore. I pretty much have a nice tight hold on it, which is a good thing, obviously. So once I get back to the other grips, the jumbos, we'll see if I could maybe hold this down the same way I'm holding it down with these standards. Alright, so we're moving to the Cleveland CG15 56 degree with the Lambkin oversized grips. I got these off of Facebook Marketplace because I needed a 56 and a 60 degree. At least that's what I think. So I went ahead and got it. It's like 50 bones for 2 of them. So I was like, can't beat that, right? So we'll see how it goes. Again, Lankins that came with them. Cleaned them up a little bit. They're pretty smooth still, so might need to change these out, but these are oversized. So we're gonna test these out in comparison to the 52 that I just used with the standards. Okay. a weird shot. I don't know what to make of that one. Okay. There we go. That one wasn't too bad. Okay, that one is better. So just from the feedback I'm getting with these oversized grips, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm really not. I feel fine. I'm kind of just hitting it really bad, to be honest. If you want to check it out, I'm hitting it here, very low in this area too. Haven't really got a solid shot yet. I feel like my hands, same with this, they aren't really coming off any. I'm keeping pressure on these bottom fingers here. So I'm not really feeling uncomfortable with the grip size. We'll do a few more, test it out before we move on to maybe like some mid irons, like a 6. We'll use a 6 standard, and I have a 7 jumbo, and we'll compare those two. That was about 95 yards. That was more of a 56 shot right there. It didn't go too far, but it went really high. This isn't really a good comparison to use on wedges to see if like the grips work any better, any less better. So we'll move on to like some mid irons. So like a 6 or like a 7 and try it out. We'll do a 6 first. The 6 iron, Tacoma, etc., standard grip. So we'll see how we do with the 6. We'll move on to the 7, which has a jumbo, and I'll give y'all feedback on what I feel about the standard versus the jumbo in the mid iron. That was big time on the toe. Okay. Down the middle, but not really any distance on it. So that's kind of like my feedback on here. I'm hitting it a lot on the toe, but given that I just got here warming up, I'm trying to do it all as I warm up. So you're probably not gonna get the best shot feedback from me. But again, the grip has felt fine. Okay, so now we're starting with these, or we're gonna end with the 7 with the jumbo. Honestly, like this jumbo, man, it just sits in your hand a lot better than having to really grip on the smaller grip. I don't know. John Daly might just be a genius, you know. You need to get your grip down, grip size, before you worry about anything else, and we'll see how it goes. Better. Still like 100 yards though, like 120 or so with the 7. A little bit on the toe. So everything's a toe shot right now. Better. So anyway, not hitting it very well today, but grip wise, I don't really feel any difference when it comes to the jumbo grip, which is a good thing. Not hitting it good regardless with either grip, but I'm not losing my grip like when I'm up here. I got my hands solid, locked on, and it honestly just feels comfortable because I don't have to grip as hard. I really don't. There you go. That one is 200. Easy. Better. Let's see if I can do it, the last one, with the 4 iron jumbo. Let's see if I do that same. Let's see if I do this. If I could do the same back swing, and then come around with the jumbo. See if that helps. Yeah, dude, that's what it is. That's what it is. 200, easy, easy. Now is a good point to prove. With the jumbo, I did not feel any different than I did with the standard grip. So that's what I'm saying. If you're thinking about going for a jumbo, even though your hands aren't big enough, go for it. I went for it. I didn't regret it. I was coming up so much like this back in the day that my hand was coming out of the grip, or the palm was slipping out. So, or it was slipping out of my palm, basically, put it that way. I'm still thinking on the swing style that I want, but I'm kind of not so much focused on the grip of mine too much anymore. So I feel like it's helping, you know. This 4-iron jumbo, exact same feel in a way as the standard. It just takes up all the empty space in your hand because your hand's not the same size for this, it's smaller. So go for it. That's my opinion. Go for it if you want to try it. Put it on one club, your favorite club. Try it out. I mean, you're not gonna lose too much money if you decide this isn't for me. Like, I need to go back to my standard, mid-size, whatever you want to go for. But I couldn't really help you guys out on like a solid swing to see like if it was. Oh, well, put it this way. Y'all have seen my swing. It's not that good. But I didn't really lose or gain much switching from down, up to down, down to up. Like, it didn't really make a difference. Appreciate y'all for liking, subscribing, all that good stuff on my other video. I hope this one kind of gets the same feedback, if not feedback in general, whether it be my horrible swing, what I'm doing wrong, etc. But hopefully I take into consideration like my opinions on grip sizes. Like if you're thinking about getting different sizes of grips, least expensive thing to do. So I hope this has helped you. Appreciate it again if y'all just like, subscribe, share it. Fellow lefties, you know, not the strongest lefty in the game, but I'm trying to get better. I should be at some point taking golf lessons pretty soon, and you know, maybe I'll record that too and talk about my opinions on what I feel works, what doesn't work after getting lessons. Again, like, subscribe, share to your fellow lefties.